What it is, everybody. Hey, welcome to the show. Good news from President Trump last night. He thought it was supposed to be good news. The war is going to end soon. The war is going to end soon. That's what he said. That was the main point of last night's speech. It was to keep markets calm, keep the price of oil down, keep stocks up, etc., as we've been trying to do since this conflict started, because we're engaged in an asymmetrical war where Iran is using economics to hurt us and the whole world, but it's aimed at us in Israel. The important part is us in Israel, but the repercussions are that it affects the whole world, so that they'll all hate us, which we're well on our way to. The intention of the speech was to calm markets. If that was the intention of the speech failed at least halfway last night. Even though it was, I am fascinated. So today I am a doomer, a black pillar, and a panican. I'm a panican in MAGA speak. I think things are going really badly. I would have left the question mark off of my title, except I just left it open just in case. Then people can't say, oh, you predicted a financial collapse and look, the Strait of Hormuz opened and you were totally wrong and all that. And I'll say, oh no, there was a question mark. But I'm more convinced than ever, really. And anyway, I'm heavily invested in it too, so I don't have to worry about people making fun of me. If things don't go the way I expect, then I'll lose a lot of money. So there will be its own damages for that. So I'm going to do some educating today a little bit, talk to you guys about short selling, option trading, the mechanics of markets, why they went up so much the last few days, or what's going on with oil, etc. And then we're also going to cover the news. There's big news today. Trump fired Pam Bondi. Trumpatola, Napoleon Miaparte. That's good. Miaparte said Trumpatola sacked his army general. Yeah, the chief of staff of the army was just fired. Stock market is closed for 3 days for the holiday. We like to deliver bad news after public markets close. Most of us can't do anything. I'm going to talk about buying put options. You can't do that till Monday. And by then, they'll be a lot more expensive, possibly. By the time markets open on Monday, things could be a lot different. Bad news. For stability and everything, Pete Hegseth just fired the Army Chief of Staff. Yeah, about an hour ago, I think. That's when it hit the ticker. So that happened today. We bombed a bridge today. Things escalated today and yesterday. They're escalating kind of on a daily basis. My prediction for financial collapse requires no escalation. We're in really dangerous territory, really, really dangerous, like to the point where I believe we're already fucked, no matter what happens. Even if the best news comes out tomorrow, even if the best news, which is of course that the Strait of Hormuz is open and Iran won't make a nuclear weapon and all that stuff. Like, if it happens tomorrow, we're still kind of fucked in a way. So we'll talk about that stuff. The market will go up a lot, and I might not make much money, but I still think we're already there if we maintain the status quo. If we maintain the status quo for 2 weeks, then by 2 weeks we're cooked, basically. It is impossible to predict markets, just like what happened today and after last night's speech and stuff was crazy to me. would have ever predicted what happened today. It's impossible to predict, but I believe we're really close to something like basically a COVID style crash. COVID, we have examples of this happening before. COVID, lockdown, crash, and the Liberation Day crash, which was just last year. Both cases, the market went down 30%. We're already at a case with the price of oil, where oil has never gone up. We're almost at 100%. Jim Cramer pointed this out today. The price of oil is almost up 100%. So from $60 to $120, that would be at about 100%. That's never happened in the past without the stock market also going down 20%. And so far, we're only down 5%. It's insane to me. I watched the COVID thing too. I predicted it. I didn't bet on it. I was just in crypto back then. I didn't bet on it. Could have, though. And I watched in amazement as every day the stock market went up, pretty much every day, up until I don't know what the day was, but it was that we announced, I think, that we were going to lock everything down, which was obvious that we were going to do because the whole rest of the world was doing that. And then the market crash went down like 30% in a month. What that sets up is a tremendous profit opportunity if you're willing to bet like Nancy Pelosi bets and buy options. But it's also a chance it's also a bet. Actually, it really is a bet. It's not even really like investing in a way, because you can lose all your money very easily if things don't go the way you expect, or even if they go the way you expect, but not quite as much as you expect. You lose all your money. So I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about what it means to be short, because people are short right now. Sophisticated traders, people are short stocks, they're short oil. Two things that are different. Thanks, Tom Outro Beats. Thanks for starting off the show with a super chat. $2.99. What is that? Australian? Australia is going to be locked down pretty soon. Probably. Right? They're already telling you guys you're going to run out of fuel pretty soon. I'm sure you guys are going to be locked down. We're going to have COVID lockdowns, COVID style lockdowns, maybe even worse in lots of parts of the world, maybe eventually in the United States too. They're canceling flights already. The last shipment of jet fuel reached England, the last shipment ever, with no shipments on the horizon. The last shipment of kerosene, jet fuel, just landed in the UK yesterday or something, and they have no incoming jet fuel. Thousands of flights are being canceled. So that's just the beginning. State of emergency in Indonesia, state of emergency in the Philippines, running out of gas in Australia. Gas prices here will go up this weekend. I'm almost certain. They went up a little bit this week. I have a gas station on the corner. Didn't go up today, but today oil went up a lot. Today oil went up 12% after Trump's speech, which is long overdue, but at least it's reacting to reality. Amazon's raising their prices, 3.5% fuel surcharge on producers or people who use their site. The U.S. Postal Service added a fuel surcharge to packages already. So we're already seeing inflation and various things. It's just going to get worse. Price of oil is still low. So I'm going to tell you guys about all that stuff. I have to decide how to package it. There was a private event yesterday for Easter that was recorded, and the White House recorded the event and released it and then deleted it. It was a private event not meant for broadcast. So we got to see Trump in his natural state. Not many people are reporting on it as if it was really bad. But we got to see Trump in his natural state. And I think, to me, it's very revealing. He's insane. I believe he's, in a way, insane. He has a personality disorder, I believe, something like narcissistic personality disorder at a minimum. And he revealed a lot of things in this event. And also, it was an Easter event. He compared himself to Jesus Christ, and somebody else compared him to Jesus Christ. And I think he kind of believes it. So I'll show you guys those clips after. What do you guys want to open with? The financial stuff? Or do you want to see clips first? You guys can tell me. I'll take a poll. You want to talk about financial stuff, or do you want to see some clips first? Talk about the news first, and then talk about financial stuff later. I want to tell you guys about what it means to be short, for example, what it means to buy options, etc. Clips. Okay, we'll give you guys clips first. And then we'll save like financial education kind of for the for later, I guess, because some people ask for it. Just want to tell you guys a little bit, because you have a chance. If everything is going to crash, you can make money, quite a bit of money, betting on it. But you can also lose everything you bet too. So it's very exciting. But if you think it's going to crash, which I almost don't see how it can't, but I'm still not I'm still being somewhat cautious to not be crazy. But if you think it's going to crash, you can profit from it. I'll tell you how. That's all. So this is not financial advice. I've been predicting crashes for a long time. I'm a doomer. However, I said to buy Bitcoin. Well, it was a lot cheaper. I said to buy, when COVID crash happened, I said to buy silver when it was $12. I've always told people to buy silver, been telling people to buy gold. Right now, though, if I was to tell people to do anything, I would say don't buy anything right now, not even gold. I think gold is going to go a lot lower, probably, in a crash situation, the same way it did during COVID, margin calls and so forth. So I think it's going to be the best investment coming out of it. I'm planning to buy a lot in the future, but I'm not buying it right now. I have some, but not silver, not copper, but gold, because silver is an industrial metal. And if we have a depression or a recession, even since the main use of silver is to make things, if we stop making things, the demand won't be as high for gold, which is just monetary when we start printing money. So that's my advice. You don't have to buy full ounces. You can buy stocks that represent gold, and you can buy digital assets that represent gold. You can buy $10 at a time if you want. And not financial advice, so do whatever you want. Yeah, I could be wrong. I reserve the right to be wrong. I put a question mark in my title. All right, so that's that. Let me give you guys the news. I'll show you video from that event. We'll talk about things. We want the intro, so just be prepared. That's all. Anyway, here we go. You ready? And 1, 2, 3. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring you the news, the real news. We don't have Iranian propaganda for you guys today, so we will give you the White House propaganda in advance of the speech last night. And then we'll talk about what happened with the speech last night. Here is what the American propaganda was in preparation for Trump's epic speech last night.
All right, let's go over it again one more time.
For 47 years, Iran has been killing Americans and attacking Americans across this planet. And other presidents had an opportunity to do something about it.
That's right.
And they all warned about how Iran was dangerous, but they refused to act. And this president's not someone that's going to refuse to act.
Keep going.
He defined very clearly on the first night of this operation what the goal was. We were going to destroy Iran's navy, and that is happening. We were going to destroy their missile launching capabilities. We're well on our way to achieving that goal. We were going to destroy the factories so they couldn't make more missiles and more drones. And that is moving forward.
Continue.
Every single objective the president clearly laid out on the first night of this operation is being effectuated. The world is going to be a safer and a better place when President Trump's mission here is achieved.
It's a perfect plan.
There you go. That's our American propaganda for you. Seinfeld, truly an American show. Wonderful show. Shot on film. Just an interesting thing about Seinfeld. Yeah, I'm not sure if other shows did the same thing. Before the public release of HD television, which runs in a 16:9 ratio, television used to run in a 4:3 ratio, I believe. 4:3 ratio, which is the like you used to get on VHS tapes, which is why movies had something called pan and scan, so it looked like shit. When Seinfeld was aired on television, the ratio was 4:3 and the resolution was 4 something p, I think. 480p, I think, is what TV was. Before DVDs came out in 720p, now it's 1080p. Seinfeld thought ahead to, I guess, the possibility that the show would still be in replays and still be in demand after the show was over, once the new format came out, which they knew about in advance, and they shot it on film in 16:9, I believe. So the shows look good on DVD and TV. Not everybody did that. Just a little factoid for you. On real film instead of tape. All right, here's the other propaganda for America.
Why don't you explain this to me like I am an 8-year-old?
Operation Epic Fury is not an endless war. It's a decisive campaign with clear objectives to destroy Iran's offensive military capabilities and ensure they never obtain a nuclear weapon.
Why don't you explain this to me like I'm 5?
No nukes, no Navy, and a complete dismantling of their missile program and defense industrial base.
Oh,
this is success, pure American success, on plan, and as the president said, ahead of pace.
There you go. So that's I'm sure they're not getting permission. You don't have to. I think it's fair use. I don't know about the music part though. Nobody's complained about these so far, but I can't imagine Larry David is signed on to using Seinfeld. Seinfeld might have, honestly, because he's Jewish, might support the war. But Larry David doesn't like Trump at all. I'm sure he doesn't like him much now. So I can't imagine they signed on to use that stuff. And then I'm guessing Carol also in the office didn't sign on for that. I haven't seen any complaints from them yet. So it's just our weak propaganda. Funny, they mentioned the objectives, which we haven't achieved. We haven't achieved any of the objectives. Okay, so let's look at what happened. The speech. So I previewed the speech. This is why markets fascinate me. Because what do you want to look at? Oil or stocks? Let's look at oil. Oil was up 12% today. Let's see. Here's a daily chart. So there you go. Let's see. Share this tab. So that's the chart for the price of West Texas Intermediate oil, American oil. And it went up a lot. since last night, immediately during and after Donald Trump's speech. Interesting things about his speech. I'm not even going to play any of it because some people, like terminally online people like me and maybe you, I don't know, and some online commentators like Mike Cernovich, for example, said the same thing I was thinking, which was, what was the point of the speech? Because he didn't say anything new, really. He did say some things. It didn't totally go the way it was predicted. Exactly. I'll explain where it didn't. And he did say something that should have been kind of soothing, I think. And you can bet on that part too, because I have a few predictions based on his speech too. So the speech was, of course, that we're winning, that we've destroyed Navy, Air Force, everything I predicted that he was going to say, because based on reporting, I didn't just make it up, based on the reporting ahead of time, because they almost always leak details of a speech before a speech. So you know what he's going to say. He said, things are going great. Of course, we've pretty much won. Of course, we're going to be done in 2 or 3 weeks. We're going to keep bombing them. The operative line from the speech was that we are going to bomb them into the Stone Age. And many people say that's what markets didn't like because it indicates escalation. Let's look at a 15-minute chart. Okay, this shows it far back enough. Okay, so he said, he also, to me, said that we are not sending in ground troops. So that's what I got from the speech that was kind of newsworthy. Before the speech, Fox News reported that he was going to, or may, set the American people up for ground forces going in to capture the uranium. He very specifically addressed that topic. So I want to give you guys news that I think is correct, because there are many people I listen to today who are saying things that are different. Many people, many people are predicting ground troops. Probably some of the 3D and 4D chess people think that, Trump lies on purpose, for example, and misleads on purpose, and he constantly contradicts himself on purpose in order to confuse his enemies, and that he's only saying that things that we're not going to send in ground troops, for example, because we're going to send in ground troops. And probably some of those troops are there. They have a battle plan, and they can be activated at any time with Trump just saying, go do it. It's been well reported that they've drawn up plans to invade Karg Island and to send in special forces and an excavation crew to find and take the 60% enriched uranium, the 480 kilos or 1,000 pounds of gaseous enriched uranium, which is buried deep under rubble under one of the nuclear facilities. In last night's speech, he pretty much said that we're not going to do that. He basically said, oh, we're just going to watch it with a satellite, and if they do anything, we'll bomb them again. That's basically the plan. The plan is to be in a perpetual state of war with Iran, where we leave, eventually, hopefully soon, 2-3 weeks, he thinks. We leave, but we watch, and then anytime we want, we bomb them again when we determine that they're getting close to a nuclear weapon. We want to reserve the right to just bomb them anytime, which is what we did this last time, right? We did the 12-day war. We flew in the B-2s, did the bunker busters down the air vent, obliterated their nuclear program. but then came back, what was it, 8 months later, and started a whole brand new war to once again obliterate their nuclear program, and this time with a few other objectives which we haven't achieved and will never achieve, most likely the way things are going. So that is to say, any ceasefire is meaningless to the Iranian people, okay? Because our ceasefire just means stopping for now, and they know that. A ceasefire just means stopping for now and nothing changing as far as the facts on the ground. Stopping for now and reserving the right to bomb them whenever we feel like it. And that's Israel and America. So that's why Iran doesn't want a ceasefire, because they want guarantees that we'll never bomb them again before any kind of ceasefire or before opening up the Strait of Hormuz or what have you. Guarantees from us and Israel. So that's our plan. I will predict that we're not sending in ground troops. I will make that prediction. I was just saying I wouldn't predict that we will. I'm going to go ahead and on the record and say we aren't going to bring in ground troops almost for sure. For the reasons I expressed my skepticism in general, which is because a bunch of them would die, in pretty much any scenario that's going to be drawn up by anybody with a brain, which I think many of the generals have, military brain. Any operation that we would do would involve a significant percentage of casualties. We're not even considering a ground invasion, which would be insane and impossible, even with a draft. But we do have plans requested by Trump to secure the uranium, which if we really wanted them to not be able to make nuclear bombs, that would be an important part of it, is taking the uranium that is literally weeks away from being turned into bombs and could already be used for dirty bombs, I believe. 60% enriched, 100,000 pounds. But so far, Iran hasn't touched it because it's buried so deep under rubble, and it would be exceedingly difficult for us to do it. It involve hundreds or thousands. It's been well reported. It would involve hundreds or thousands of U.S. troops, special forces coming in, setting up a runway in central Iran, maintaining a perimeter where there could be Iranian troops all around trying to kill you, and then digging with heavy excavators and equipment for an unknown period of time to find and first locate and then extract this uranium, which is like I said, apparently in a gaseous form. That's why he calls it dust, I guess. Which is in many barrels or something like that. Would take longer than Trump wants. I think that's the main reason he doesn't want to do it, is because it would take a while. But we would also lose a bunch of people. So he indicated in a speech last night that we're not going to do that. We're not planning to do that. That's what he seemed to indicate to me, if it's not a fake out. That said, insider accounts are still active and wagering with high certainty that we will go in this month, to the point where on Polymarket, where you can bet on it. So this is a bet I would make if I wasn't already wagering on other stuff, that I would bet against this, because it says 66% odds right now, and up, I don't know if that's 5% today or whatever, 66% odds right now that we put U.S. boots on the ground before the end of this month. It's the 2nd today, by April 30th, and a 75% chance by December 31st. I think it's highly unlikely, in my opinion, based on what Trump has been saying and based on what he said in his primetime address last night, which is we're not going after the nuclear. He also his threat to bomb them into the Stone Age, well, that means like no electricity, no running water, etc. Like that would be the Stone Age. So his threat to bomb in the Stone Age involves only power plants. Apparently, that's the last thing we're going to do, which is bomb power plants all at once. Is the threat. I think he's also not going to do that. That's my prediction. So, which is, you know, the best of all possible things. That involves no escalation. So I'm actually betting on economic, like a stock market crash without escalation. So I think even without escalating, we're in deep shit. But the reason I think we're not going to send troops in or bomb the power plants is because the repercussions from that would be even worse. And Trump is aware of that. And that's why he kept pushing back the deadline for bombing power plants, because of Iran's threats, which he knows are to be taken seriously, which is that if we bomb their power plants, they're immediately going to put on their target list infrastructure all over the Middle East, oil fields, desalination plants, etc. Which even if the Strait of Hormuz open, even then, if they did that, if so, let's say we do that, we bomb the power plants, and Iran does successfully target oil fields in Saudi Arabia, desalination plants. If they hit a desalination plant, like those countries are cooked. Like everybody has to leave, literally, because they get some of those countries, they get 99% of their water from desalination. So if they successfully do that, and that means their governments are probably done, like these Saudi monarchies and stuff like that are probably done. If they hit the oil fields, then it doesn't matter. Like they hit the gas field already in Qatar, where it's offline for 3 or 5 years now. If they knock out these oil fields, then it doesn't matter if the Strait of Hormuz is wide open, because they can't make oil anymore for years, which Trump knows is disastrous. He's smart enough to know it's disastrous. So I think he's also not ever, in my opinion, but 50, I guess it could be 50-50. I don't think he's going to follow through, because the economic consequences would be so bad. Like I said, if they do that successfully, then it makes no difference if we open the Strait of Hormuz 100%, because they can't make oil anymore, the whole Middle East. He likewise seemed to indicate he's not going to go after Iranian oil, probably for the same reason, because he knows that if we hit their oil, they're going to hit other people's oil, probably for the same reason, which also means we're probably not going to go after Karg Island. So I'm predicting less escalation than many people are predicting. If he had announced boots on the ground, then I think the stock market would have crashed and stayed crashed, and oil would have gone up even more. If he follows through with boots on the ground, I think stock market crashes, oil goes up, because it means that things last longer. That's all. The reason the markets reacted to the speech last night so negatively is because they were anticipating that he would say, for some reason, they were anticipating that he was going to say the war was basically over already. And the fact that it was 2 or 3 weeks was already bad enough, because it needs to be over soon for things to be okay. It needs to be over really soon. I've been saying it, like 2 weeks, like around April 15th or so. If the Strait of Hormuz isn't open by then the damage is permanent, according to a lot of people, if it's not already. But if the Strait of Hormuz isn't 100% open and everything's working fine by 2 weeks from now, then it's basically global collapse, almost guaranteed. So that's scary, but that's what it's not just me saying that. You know, a number of people are kind of saying that. Helium, like computer chips, there's no helium coming out. Like our whole economy is built on AI. There's absolutely no LNG coming out. No LNG came out since the war started. Fertilizer isn't coming out. All these things, it adds up. Okay. So anyway, he did his speech. Oil was going down. This is just the chart. Oil was going down. He started speaking and oil pumped big time and stocks crashed somewhat significantly. Oil continued to pump into this morning. Here there was a fake headline. Here there was a fake headline, but it still ended up the day 12% up. It's American crude oil is now trading for $111, which I think means the price of gasoline is going up this weekend, maybe by 20 cents or something, 25 cents. So you might want to fill up your car while the prices haven't gone up yet. Okay, so that's what happened to oil because of his speech. The reason I shorted the stock market again today is the stock market is so amazing because it came all the way back, partially on a fake headline, almost every single day since the war started. When oil goes up, the stock market goes down. It was true today too. Oil went up and the stock market went down, but it didn't go down much. It was down very little. Very little. You can see the candle there. I'll show you. So this was the speech. Stock market went down, kind of kept going down until right when the market opened. And then all of a sudden caught a huge pump. Then there was a fake headline about the Strait of Hormuz opening up. Like an old news, recycled. Somebody put it on Twitter that Iran is formalizing Strait of Hormuz operations with Oman. And this huge pump happened, and honestly, it didn't sell off. Like I said, like it was down maybe, this is the NASDAQ. I think it was down. Actually, it says it was up. Like literally the stock market went up today, even though oil was up 12%. The stock market literally went up today, which is crazy to me. So I bought another contract on it. So now markets are closed officially, but futures are open right now. Nothing's happening in futures. It's flat. Nothing's happening right now. Today we escalated further. We bombed a bridge. Iran is threatening to bomb all the bridges in the region. So we escalated today. Iran is threatening to bomb all the bridges in the region. I learned today that Abu Dhabi is on an island. Abu Dhabi? Dubai? Hold on. I'm asking so we it's not Dubai. Abu Dhabi. So is on an island. And that is, see, I'm still learning a bunch of stuff about the Middle East. Yeah. Abu Dhabi City is on an island connected by 3 bridges. And Iran, it has all 3 on its target list. as well as other really important bridges. So we're going to find out in the next 48 hours or so, probably, whether they can successfully bomb those sites. After they hit the steel power plants, Iran said that they would counter attack by going after steel plants and industrial infrastructure. They hit an aluminum plant. So they were successful. They hit a major aluminum plant. And they also hit a major pharmaceutical production facility in Israel. And then the aluminum plant may have been in UAE or Saudi. So they were successful. We'll see if they can hit the bridges. But that would be really bad for those economies. Okay. All right. So anyway, that's what's going on. That's what's going on in the markets. That's what Trump said. Oh, the other thing that was different than what people predicted was people said he was going to say he was pulling out of NATO. And he didn't say anything about NATO. Oh, if you want to support the show other than super chats, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. It's right on the screen. They don't take 30% like YouTube does. So we prefer it. And you can also leave a note, and I'll check those before the end of every show. And you can also do it anytime, including when the show is offline. That's always scrolling across the bottom of the screen. It says buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. Before I was monetized, that was the only way to give super chats. You can also go to our online store to buy t-shirts at truthclothing.io. We have t-shirts on sale for $5 and $10, super high quality shirts. Like so, many cryptocurrency shirts, many female design shirts. Question Everything, our most popular design. We have several female styles. So, and we also have a Lift the Veil female style. So ladies, there's lots of stuff on the site for you, including Bitcoin shirts. And buy them while you still can, because the store is closing down for business as of right now. So that's why the shirts are so cheap. $5 and $10 t-shirts that are super high quality and everybody loves them. All right, so that was the speech. That's a little bit of the markets. Oil was up a lot. If oil keeps going up, everybody recognizes that's bad. It was up a lot today. Okay. Stock market's closed for Easter, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but futures are still trading. All right, I told you about Trump's event. So this was a private event for Easter lunch, which was not meant to be broadcast. The White House posted it and took it down. People captured the whole thing, posted it on Twitter. People pulled clips from it. Because it was not meant to be broadcast, we got to see Trump and his sycophants in their natural state. Trump said many things, I believe, he would not have said if he knew it was for public consumption. Although not many people are reporting on it that way. Most people think it's just Trump being Trump. But to me, he said things. He was much more relaxed than usual. It was basically like a stand-up routine. The French are really upset about this statement. Apparently, the French are really mad and rallying behind Macron because of this.
Then I call up France, Macron, whose wife treats him extremely badly. And still recovering from the right to the jaw. And I say, Emmanuel, we'd love to have some help in the Gulf, even though we're setting records and knocking out bad people and knocking out ballistic missiles. We'd love to have some help. If you could you please send ships immediately? No. We cannot do that, Donald. We can do that after the war is won. They said, no, I don't need after the war is won, Emmanuel. Many of them said, we'll be there after the war is completed. Then I call up
there
France.
You go. So anyway, the statement about the right hook from Macron apparently is playing very badly in France. He was just joking a lot. You heard the laughter. And once again, this is an Easter dinner. He called J.D. Vance, said he used to be fat. Here we go. I'll play you that.
The White House, including Vice President J.D. Vance. I think J.D. is J.D. here. Where is J.D.? Oh, J.D. He's lost weight. He got a little thinner, and I'm looking for a heavy set gentleman, and now I find a perfect looking specimen. He's doing a great job. And
I don't find it appropriate that everything's so funny to him, and there's literally a war going on, and people are paying $4 for gas. Well, if they're lucky, and not in California. This I thought he probably wouldn't say in public. This is insane to me. Probably the worst of what he said. Here we go. Trump being Trump.
And tonight I'm making a little speech at 9:00, and basically I'm going to tell everybody how great I am. What a great job I've done. What a phenomenal job. What a phenomenal job I've done. But seriously, if you didn't have me, if you had some different type of a president, you wouldn't have Israel. I know you're big Israel fans. Frankly, and tonight I'm making a little speech at 9:00, and basically I'm going to tell everybody how great I am. What a great job I've done.
Yeah, that's exactly what he does. That's pretty much exactly what he was going to do. So credit there. But I don't think he'd say that if he knew it was going to be public. It was kind of ridiculous. So that was Trump. Let's see. One of the Paula White talked to him. People say he doesn't just need people to kiss his ass, but actually he does. He mentions that too. Play that for you. He just pardoned this Jewish guy who was a scumbag, fraud artist. He's pardoning all these people who are con men, basically. People who are convicted of fraud in many cases, who have lots of victims and stuff who probably want them in jail. He just pardoned this Jewish nursing home fraudster who has many victims who haven't been repaid. So this is what he said at the event, which is true.
They said, "What do you mean you have regime change?" My friend, great show. I love this guy. He's so nice to me. Every time I watch, and I appreciate. We're not supposed to be seduced that way, right? But I am. When somebody's nice to me, I love that person. Even if they're bad people, I couldn't care less. I'll fight to the end for them. They said, "What do you mean you have regime change?" My friend, great show.
What do you think of that? As long as you're nice to Trump, it's true. That's why all the world leaders flatter him. That's why everybody kisses his ass all the time, because that's all he cares about. But he admits it. Even if they're bad people, as long as you kiss his ass, he will fight to the death for you, even if you're a bad person. Nice. Let's see. Yeah, this is kind of funny.
He's working on the deal, right? How's that moving? Is it okay? The big deal? You see it happening? So if it doesn't happen, I'm blaming J.D. Vance. If it does happen, I'm taking full credit. No, I think it'll be. I think it has to happen. I think they're desperate.
I think he really thinks that. The intelligence community assesses that they're not negotiating. The American government assesses that they're not negotiating with us and aren't going to make a deal with us officially. And he's going to fire Tulsi Gabbard, apparently. Hopefully she quits first. But rumors are that he's thinking of firing Tulsi Gabbard. Usually if there's rumors that he's thinking of firing somebody, he ends up firing them. He fired Pam Bondi today, but is keeping her around. Let's see. Here he is, just like, once again, just being flippant about everything.
We're over in Iran. We're sort of pretty much winding that up. Have to take a few more hits. We want to make sure we don't ever allow them to have a nuclear weapon, because
kind of winding that up, he says. I have to take a few more hits. All right. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Here is Paula White, who I guess is a spiritual advisor of some sort, at an this was all at an Easter lunch, comparing him to Jesus Christ.
On. But as I prayed, it was like the Holy Spirit just zoned me in and said, tell President Trump how thankful you are for him. And I think I'm...
Erica Kirk was there.
And I felt like I was conveying the heart of God for all of us, that we are thankful for the greatest champion of faith that we've ever seen in a president. And we honor you because of your bold, unwavering conviction and stand for religious liberty here in America and around the world. And you recognize the power and the name of Jesus Christ. I remember when we told our first briefing, you can now pray again and worship again. They begin to shout and praise and say, thank you, Lord, and sing in their highest ways for your unwavering recognition that the strength of a nation is through Almighty God. And you have not backed away from any of this. Thank you for allowing me to serve you, to serve people of faith, and to serve the American people. I've heard many people take credit for you being here, or for some of your victories, and for being in the sacred office of the president. But the truth of it is you are here because of God and because of you. And I just wanted to share this thought and pray over President Trump. Jesus taught us so many lessons through his death, burial, and resurrection. He showed us great leadership. Great transformation requires great sacrifice. And Mr. President, no one has paid the price like you have paid the price. It almost cost you your life. You were betrayed and arrested and falsely accused. It's a familiar pattern that our Lord and Savior showed us. But it didn't end there for him, and it didn't end there for you. God always had a plan. On the third day, he rose, he defeated evil, he conquered death, hell, and the grave. And because he rose, we all know that we can rise. And sir, because of his resurrection, you rose up. Because he was victorious, you were victorious. And I believe that the Lord said to tell you this. Because of his victory, you will be victorious in all you put your hand to.
Happy Easter, everybody. Here we go. Here's Trump comparing himself to Jesus Christ.
On Palm Sunday, Jesus entered Jerusalem as crowds welcomed him with praise, honoring him as king. They call me king now. Do you believe it? No king. I'm such a king, I can't get a ballroom approved. It's pretty amazing, right? I'm a king. If I was a king, we'd be doing a lot more. I'm doing a lot, but I could be doing a lot more if I was a king.
Just like Jesus. Okay, so he said that. Let's see. This is all, once again, from a private event that was not meant to be broadcast. Let's see. I have that. I played that clip. And finally, he revealed something that was reported today, which is, I'll play that for you. I don't think he would have said this in public necessarily, but apparently it's true. So let's play that.
Because the United States can't take care of daycare. That has to be up to a state. We can't take care of daycare. We're a big country. We have 50 states. We have all these other people. We're fighting wars. We can't take care of daycare. You got to let a state take care of daycare, and they should pay for it too. They should pay. They have to raise their taxes, but they should pay for it. And we could lower our taxes a little bit to them to make up, but it's not possible for us to take care of daycare. Medicaid, Medicare, all these individual things, they can do it on a state basis. You can't do it on a federal. We have to take care of one thing, military protection, because the United States.
You hear that? That's the new plan. Actually, so that was reported today. The new plan is to transition to a military economy and cut healthcare services, cut Medicare, cut daycare, cut Medicare, Medicaid, leave it all to the states so they have to raise taxes so that we can spend more money on the military. That's the plan. That's actually the plan officially for the economy of 2027. He'd said it before. He wanted to increase the military budget. It's not just the $200 billion they're requesting, but it's also he had also previously requested that the military budget go up from $1 trillion to $1.5 trillion. And mind you, we spend $1 trillion on the deficit, which on interest on the debt, which is going to be substantially more this year because interest rates are going up because of inflation, which is because of him. So we'll see. I don't know. I mean, if he's cutting ads for Democrats, I have no idea. It's going to be so easy to run against him and Republicans. He's just destroying everything with no regard. He feels supremely confident. I mentioned this after Venezuela. He feels supremely confident. I don't know if he cares about his polls. He surrounds himself with people who fillate him and virtually and lick his backside virtually as well. He surrounds himself with people who are willing to get right up in there. They used to call it brown nosing, which is a really dirty term when you think about it, but almost literally, it's a competition for who can say how great he is. So I don't know if he cares about anything else. I just think he genuinely believes it. I don't think he thinks he can do anything wrong at this time, which to me is some kind of personality disorder. Like he's not in touch with reality. He's actually disconnected from reality. In a way, he's insane. And it's kind of upsetting because we would make fun of people for the No Kings protests, but they kind of have a point, right? He actually wants to be a dictator. He actually wants dictatorial powers. He wants the powers of a king. That's what he wants. And that's the way he governs. He's constantly frustrated by the democratic process, constantly. And the fact that we have 3 branches of government that can keep him in check. He's constantly frustrated. He's frustrated by the Supreme Court. He's frustrated by Congress. So, like, it's hard to even make fun of those people anymore. And people are going to want him impeached. And maybe that won't even, like, before Democrats were afraid to say that they're going to impeach him. They're not saying that right now. But there's going to be a lot of pressure, actually, from people to say that when they, like, you know, there was the one time they ran for office and all said they were going to impeach him, and that was bad because people thought it was ridiculous. But this time it's going to be popular. They're not going to get much pushback from a lot of people on the right wing who probably couldn't care less if he was impeached. And that's now. Just wait for a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, when gas is $7 a gallon, when everything is more expensive, assuming we don't go into an immediate depression. The only way prices don't go up is a depression. So far, that's not predicted. I said this is reported. The New York Times is reporting that multiple U.S. intelligence agencies have recently assessed that Iran is not currently willing to engage in substantial negotiations over ending the war. That's our government intelligence agencies, which I assume is Tulsi Gabbard. So maybe that's why he's mad at Tulsi today, because just like our intelligence agencies assessed that there was no threat from Iran, our intelligence agencies assessed that they're not even close to making a deal, which contradicts everything Trump has been saying, which has been just a series of lies, which almost nobody believes anymore. None of the rest of the world believes anything Trump says anymore. Some Americans do, some investors still do. But that's the state we're in right now. But it's actually our government now. It's not just the Iranians who are saying they're not negotiating. Our government officially is saying that Iran doesn't want to negotiate, which you already knew if you watch the show and stuff. Many people out there are making claims like Iran's on the brink of collapse. That's why I go live, just to let you guys know that I don't think that's true. I don't think any of those things are true. I think it's misleading to suggest that it's true. Okay, so that's that news. That was that thing. The Israelis just tried to kill, there's been many reports that Israel intentionally targets people we're negotiating with because they don't want negotiations to succeed. Iran wants full regime change. Iran wants us not to leave. Israel wants regime change. Israel wants us to stay. Israel wants us to put our troops on the ground. And Israel wants no deal. That's what people claim. And that they've been assassinating negotiators because they just tried to kill one. So apparently it was Israel. The New York Times says the United States and Israel just bombed the person who had been overseeing engagement with Pakistan for a possible meeting between Iranian officials and J.D. Vance. The official said the targeting of Karazi is being viewed as an attempt to derail diplomacy. And we injured him and killed his wife. I don't know if it was we or if it was Israel. New York Times reported that was both of us. Some reports are that was Israel. So it's kind of making the conspiracy theorists right that Israel doesn't want a deal desperately. So apparently we are not negotiating. Our intelligence agencies assess that they're not negotiating and don't want to. But there was at least one guy who was thinking about meeting with J.D. Vance, and we tried to kill him. Somebody tried to kill him and killed his wife and injured him badly, apparently. And that's an escalation because Iran says they're going to target U.S. businesses in response to any assassinations. So, to which Trump replied, "What, with BB guns?" If you remember that, Trump said, "What are they going to shoot them with? BB guns?" As if they don't have missiles and drones still. They already hit an Amazon, an AWS place. So Iran made threats about this. We'll see if they can follow through. So they said they would target American companies if we continue assassinating people. So we'll see. All right. We bombed a bridge. Donald J. Trump bragged about it. That's a war crime, I believe. Terrorism, basically. He truthed, "The biggest bridge in Iran comes tumbling down, never to be used again. Much more to follow. It is time for Iran to make a deal before it is too late, and there is nothing left of what still could become a great country." So we blew up a major bridge. Of course, that'll take a year. It cost many billions and years to build, and it'll take the same kind of capital and time to build. And remember, everything we blow up, Iran wants us to pay for the reconstruction of. So that's just another thing Iran is going to demand we pay to fix. So Pirate Justice says it's a war crime. Apparently it's a war crime. So, like I said, Iran is threatening to hit bridges all over the Middle East now. So those are on the target list. They listed specifically, including all the bridges leading to Abu Dhabi Island. So we'll see if they can follow through. Probably in the next 48 hours, we'll see. They can't always, you know, those missiles. I don't know if they have to get lucky kind of sometimes, but they're hitting army bases. I mean, they're hitting targets. So we'll see. Okay, so there's that. People didn't like that Trump suggested escalation by saying we would bomb them back into the Stone Age. We are escalating by hitting industrial sites, like civilian industrial sites. Pete Hegseth tweeted out back to the Stone Age after the speech last night, which Lindsey Graham really loved the speech last night. But obviously it didn't go over very well because oil went up 12%. Okay. So, lots of insider betting, both on troop deployment and moves in the stock market. Still lots of insider betting. Trump told Time magazine that about negotiations. Trump told Time that Iran was eager to make a deal and end the fighting. Quote, why wouldn't they call? We just blew up their 3 big bridges last night. They're getting decimated. They say Trump is not negotiating with Iran. I mean, it's sort of an easy negotiation, he says. And of course, we're negotiating with bombs. That's the negotiation, just like Pete Hegseth says. Our negotiation is to bomb them into submission. Like I said, I don't think we're going to go after the power plants, but we'll see. We're escalating. We're escalating almost every day. So we'll see what Iran does in response. All right, just to, here's Lindsey Graham saying how great it was that we're going to bomb them into the Stone Age, which of course is bad because it's an attack against the Iranian people who supposedly we're fighting on behalf of. The president just announced that 7 million Iranians are willing to sign up for the army. So they had 1 million, and typically you need more than your enemy if you want to invade or something. So he announced that 7 million Iranians are willing to sign up for the army. What would happen if we did a draft in America? What would happen if we put out a recruitment request in America to go over and fight in Iran? Nobody would sign up. If there's a draft, people would refuse. And they have 7 million volunteers to fight us in a country that apparently, allegedly, well, they at least have 1 million already between the IRGC and their security forces. But I think that's entirely possible. They've been fighting wars for a long time. Most of the people in charge went to war themselves. They fought in the Iran-Iraq war. They're like ready to fight, which we're not. We're like a weak country full of weak people who are fat. I don't even know what we do for a draft. Half people wouldn't qualify because they're fat or stupid or insane. I mean, mental problems, diagnosed, etc. Here's what Lindsey Graham said after the speech, and then we'll tell you guys a little bit about shorts and stuff.
What I learned tonight Iran's going to have a choice in 2 to 3 weeks. You either do a deal where you get out of the business you're in, or we're going to blow your stuff up that will allow you to function as a nation. That is your choice.
Well, let me ask this, because, by the way, I don't even think they have 2 or 3 weeks, Senator. That's 2 or 3 weeks when their infrastructure would be blown up. That's their electric grid. That is their ability to have any income. The lifeblood of their entire economy is oil. So that would no longer exist. Let me ask.
What I learned tonight.
There you go. I don't think Trump is going to go after the oil. He might do the electric thing. I don't know. He might feel like he has to. I don't know. The deadline for that is Monday. The deadline that was moved is Monday. So if he's going to do the electrical things, I guess it could happen Monday. But that'd be a major escalation. So we'll see if he follows through. Maybe he will. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe he will follow through on that. And if Iran does half of what they promised to do in response, then it's going to be a complete disaster. All right. So I've had a request sometimes to just mention like what it means to like, or for example, I think things are going very badly. I think based on like the sell-off after the speech last night, which came totally back, but based on the rise in oil today, which normally runs opposite to the stock market, I think things are going to crash. If you want to make money, you've probably heard, I'll just try to describe it for people who care about shorting and options. Okay. So everybody's short the stock market right now. More people than ever, or as many people as ever, are short the stock market. That means that it's a time. Let me think how I describe it. That means you're selling something today and promising to buy it back at a future date and paying a little bit of a premium for it. Okay. So if you want to make money when things go down, you go short. Everybody's short stocks and everybody's short oil, which creates a weird situation. Okay. So if you go long something, you buy it and you have unlimited potential returns because it could go up as high as whatever. That's what everybody does when they buy stocks. You go long. Nancy Pelosi buys calls. That's how she made all her money. When they invest, they buy calls. I'll tell you about those. You go long. If you go short, you're selling today and promising to buy back later. So it's actually a promise to buy in the future, which sets up short squeezes. And okay, in a short, your potential losses are unlimited because the price could go up an unlimited amount. And you might not be able to afford buying because you've made a promise by a certain date in the future to buy the thing back that you sold today. So let's do it with oil because everybody's short oil, which makes sense. When silver was going up, wholesalers short it. So everybody who's like people who sell, who are wholesalers in oil or commodities like silver, when silver was going way up, everybody was short. But that's because they needed to be able to sell at the current price, or if the price suddenly dropped, they would lose their ass, basically. Does that make sense? So oil, people are short oil because they're happy to sell at the current price in the future because of Trump being crazy and there being a possibility anytime for a potential deal, which would lower the price substantially in the future. People are willing to lock in a price now so that if the price rapidly goes down in the future, which it could at any time, just like it did with silver, you just say, okay, well, I'm happy with the price today. If you're a wholesaler and you're buying oil to sell in the future, and you're buying it for, like, let's say a 5% discount to sell, then you just, to lock in the price so you definitely make a profit, you'll go short. Okay. And you're willing to pay more later in order to be able to sell at today's price. Okay. Or you might buy options. It's like insurance, basically. Options are insurance. So you'd like buy an option to be able to sell it for today's price in case later in the future the price is much lower, so you don't lose money. So you can buy oil, and that's, so if you have a bunch of oil, if you have a bunch of silver, if you're a silver dealer and people are selling you silver, like at the very top of the silver market when it got up to like $120, everybody wanted to sell to dealers, but then the price dropped 20% in a day. So any silver that dealers bought, when it was $120 an ounce for a second, they can't sell it immediately, so they'll go short. So everybody's short oil. It creates a short squeeze because your losses are potentially unlimited. People set limits on how much they're willing to lose on the trade, so they'll automatically buy if the price goes up a certain amount. That creates a short squeeze. So that's probably what happened today in oil, is because everybody's short in oil, you can see really rapid price increases, because being short is actually, even though you're selling today, which drives the price down today, you're promising to buy later, which is going to drive up the price later. So if the price goes up too much, you're going to automatically buy before you lose too much money. And that creates short squeezes. So that's how shorting works. It's a promise to buy later, which might have to be at a higher price. So that's what happened in the stock market the other day. A bunch of people are short. Everybody's short. Normally that's a bad time to buy because you can have huge price increases. Okay, so that's why the stock market went up like 3% in a day, is because everybody was short. Trump says something, shorts have to cover, they call it covering, they buy, and then the buying cascades, limits get hit, up. And so people kept hitting limits, they're forced to buy. Normally you're forced to sell. If you're long, you're forced to sell sometimes. But if you're short, you're forced to buy, and that makes the price go up a lot. That's why when the stock market is crashing or going down, you have the biggest up days in the markets. So that's why we had a huge up day. Okay, so that's just right. That's just being long and short. If you want to really bet on it, you buy options. Okay, so if you are betting on a stock market crash, like I am, and you're committed, you can buy options, which is an option to buy or sell at a certain price in the future. So what Nancy Pelosi does, Jamie says, how do you make a profit if you're paying more later? No, you're losing money. So if you short something and the price goes up, you lose money. If you go long something and the price goes down, you lose money, right? So if you're short, it's the opposite. You lose money. But people put in, they call them stops, like stop, where if the price goes up a certain amount, they'll automatically buy, so you don't lose too much money, because your losses are unlimited otherwise, could be unlimited otherwise. Okay, that's why it's dangerous to short, especially since over time, normally the stock market goes up. Okay, so then if you want to make money or you want insurance, so if you have, like, let's say the reasonable case for buying a put option. So that's what I have, is put options on the NASDAQ, the S&P, the Russell, American Airlines, regional banks, and something else, but mostly the indexes. Let's say you own a lot of stocks and you're worried about a crash. Let's say you own a lot of stocks. You can buy an option to sell in the future for a specific price. So let's say you have a lot of stocks and you're worried about a crash. You buy an option to sell for the today's price or a different price at a certain price by paying a fee. And it's an option to sell 100 shares. Each option is 100 shares. This is how Nancy Pelosi made all her money in the stock market. She buys call options. So you buy a call or a put. A call is long, a put is short. A call option is a leveraged bet that the price is going to go up. It's an option to buy 100 shares at a specific price, thinking that if the stock goes up, you make a profit because you have the option to buy it 100 shares at a time for the specific price. If the price doesn't go up or it doesn't go up enough, you lose all your money. You can also do put options. So once again, if you want a profit, and it's a gamble, you would say, I want to sell at a certain price. You could sell at the market. So like QQQ is at, I don't know, I think it's at like 684 or something like that. You would buy an option to sell at the current price or lower, and then hope that the price goes down enough that you can profit by exercising your option. It's an option to buy, to sell at a high price, and then you're theoretically forced after a certain period of time to buy at the lower price, but it's 100 shares at a time. Nancy Pelosi buys call options on stocks that she thinks are going to go up. It multiplies your gains immensely. It's crazy. Okay. You can also sell puts. That's true. You can also sell puts if you have a bunch of stock and you are willing to, and you want to continue owning the stock and would be interested in buying it at a lower price. You can sell put options too. It's complicated. But anyway, just as an example, if you think the stock market is going to go down like this month, which I think it will, if you think it's going to go down this month, you can buy a put on the stock. You can buy a put at the current price, which is going to cost you a couple grand. But if the price goes down substantially, you'll make a lot of money. That's all. You'll make a lot more than your bet. That's all. If just for example, if you wanted to bet on it, you can buy a put option on the Qs, which like the things that track indexes. You buy SPY, QQQ, or IWM is the Russell. And you buy a put option today, 5% out of the money, which means the stock market has to, it expires April 30th. So you have 30 days for the stock market to go down more than 5%, or you could lose all your money. If it goes down less than 5% and you wait until April 30th, you'll lose all your money. Even if the stock market goes down, if you wait, you'll lose all your money. If it goes down fast, then you can make money quickly if it goes down fast. And it's pretty insane. That's all. You can buy a put option. Just for example, you buy a put option on the Qs right now that's 5% out of the money. So an option to sell 100 shares for 5% less than they are now by April 30th. If the market goes down 5% next week, you'll triple your investment. If it goes down 10%, it's even more insane. And if it goes down 20 or 30%, you'll make at least $10,000, maybe more. Let me ask. So that's how Nancy Pelosi did it. If you have high confidence and you're willing to lose your entire bet, that's how you can do it. Either for protection, it's either for insurance because you own a lot of stocks. You just want insurance where you're like, okay, well, I'm happy with the price things are now. If things went down a lot, you'd lose a lot of money. So just buy some insurance that's relatively cheap to say, okay, well, I'm happy to sell at today's price. I'll buy some insurance. At least then if things crash, I'll make up for the money I lose all my stocks by having these options. It's like insurance. If you just want to make money and gamble, then you just buy it. And it's just a relatively cheap way to like 10x your money if things go really wrong, which I just kind of think they will. You can go all the way out though. Most of my options expire in June. I'm giving it 3 months. Like I'm giving it a long thing. Most of my options expire in June. And I bought them at the money. So the market doesn't have to go down that much. But I asked, so if you buy that for and it went down next week. If it went down 5% next week, you'd make more than 100% on your money. Let me see. What if it went down 20% in 3 weeks? They lose value every day. It's called theta. It's called decay. They lose value every day. They're time-based. So it really is a bet. It's just a bet. If it went down 20%, you'd make 1,733% on your investment. It would be a 17x. So that's how much you make. You'd make $8,000 a contract if the market goes down 20%. During COVID, it went down 30%. During Liberation Day, it went down 30% in a month. I think it's entirely possible it happens this month, but that's a gamble though. All it has to do is go down a little bit to be profitable. So anyway, that's it. What's my favorite platform? I like Robinhood, but I also have Fidelity, which I don't like as much, but I just happen to have it. I like Robinhood the best. It's just like more like a video game, but that's it. All right. So thanks everybody. That's your education and news for today. This is not financial advice. I can't predict the future. The stock market can stay retarded longer than you can stay solvent, even when you're totally 100% right. The stock markets can be retarded longer than you can stay solvent. Just remember that. So you could lose all your money doing that. That's all. Very risky. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Good to see you. I'll check my coffees. I made a few bucks on a super chat. And I got no coffees today, it looks like. No coffees today. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Good to see you guys. Good luck out there. Be careful out there. Let's see what happens. Check in on the markets now. Stock market's flat. Closed for 3 days. Employment numbers come out tomorrow. If employment numbers are everything as far as stocks staying up right now, everything depends on us not going into a recession. That's my final word. Everything that everybody is based on is that we don't go into a recession. Inflation predictions, all of that, like depends on us just ticking along. Employment mostly is the main thing. If employment starts to go bad, that's the indication that we're in a recession. The last employment report was bad. It was a month ago. It was really bad compared to what people expected. We've had one of them. Job losses when they predicted gains. It was like 50,000 or something like that. Job numbers come out tomorrow morning, I think at 8:30 Eastern. The market will be closed. if they're really bad and the war goes badly over the weekend, if things happen over the weekend, then Monday could be really bad and you might not have a chance. Like, you can't buy options today. You can't buy options tomorrow. You can't buy options Saturday or Sunday. You have to wait till the market opens Monday. If employment numbers are really bad and something bad happens in the war, then the market could open down a lot lower on Monday morning. That's all. So we'll see. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Good to see you guys. We like kind of hope things don't fall apart because I have a regular job too. And it's dependent on the economy being okay. And actually, if things go really badly, I won't make any money doing what my regular job is. So that sucks. So to a certain extent, I'm buying protection for myself because my future, like I work, I do food delivery right now. And obviously if people are unemployed and broke, and then everybody gets unemployed and decides to sign up to do food delivery because it's the only job available, competition gets worse. I mean, it's going to be even worse than it is now. And right now it doesn't pay hardly anything. So anyway, that's all right. Thanks everybody. To think I'm praying for a collapse. I am to a certain extent, but to a certain extent, I realize that would be really bad because people could be unemployed and everything will suck. But I kind of think that's what's about to happen. So be safe out there. We'll see you maybe tomorrow, maybe Saturday, maybe Sunday. We are Goy. We work. We don't respect holidays. I'll be working every day this weekend. If not doing this, then doing my job. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Good to see you guys. For now, that's what it is.